So a very good evening to all of you. Today we will be discussing the important topic, that is animal husbandry. And in this animal husbandry, we will be discussing that is cattle's part, because maximum number of questions they ask from this part only. Poultry can be discussed some other day, but since this is the most important subsection of this animal husbandry, that is cattle's, we will be discussing cattle's for today, right? So let's move forward and see I have tried to cover each and everything holistically in this session. We will go through each and everything. As you can see, we will start with selection and we will end our session till culling. Culling means killing of the unproductive animals. So all important points, whatever can be, I have taken short note of all those things. And if you observe this video one or two times, you can remember most of the important points from this animal husbandry. So the overall system in this is selection. First is selection, then housing, feed management, then housing for when the cattle is expected to give new calf, then what should be the housing in that scenario, milking, care and management, daily operations, disease management, reproduction, economic, character, and lastly is culling, when the animal is if it is unproductive, then it is killed lastly. So we will cover all these things in today's lecture. So let's move forward and see what is in this selection first. So before going into this selection, I will take some of the important points from this. That is, first is biogas production and the content of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium in different fecal matter of different animals, right? So because earlier also this type of question they have asked, like which cattle manure has highest percentage of nitrogen, like they have earlier also asked questions from this. So we will discuss all these things. The first thing you need to keep in mind is that for biogas production, what amount of fecal matter is required for different cases. See, it is maximum in case of cow dung, then it is pig, then it is poultry. So if you want to produce 1 cubic meter of biogas, then maximum amount of fecal matter is required for your cow dung, then is poultry, and pig fecal matter is required in least amount, right? So 1 cubic meter of your biogas capacity, if the plant is of 1 cubic meter, then it produces 0.15 to 0.20 cubic meter of biogas. Now coming on to this point, this chart, whatever is there, as I was telling you, that you just observe, you don't need to remember all these things, just you observe nitrogen is available in maximum quantity in which of the following fecal matters. See, poultry, you have the maximum nitrogen, that is till 62. So if they ask question from this section that which of the following fecal matters has highest percentage of nitrogen, so it will be poultry. Phosphorus, if you see, in phosphorus also poultry is the right answer. So if you see, in all cases, in maximum cases, poultry has the highest nutrient percentages, right? Except one thing, calcium, if you see, calcium also it is highest. Magnesium it is less. The magnesium cattle is highest, the range is 5 to 8, but poultry the range is 3 to 8. So if magnesium it is asked, it is highest for your cattle. So in this way, you just observe where it is highest, that will be sufficient for your examination. They won't ask the single data or exact data for each of these animals, either cattle, sheep or pig, like that. Now coming to systems of livestock production, see there are 3 types of system: extensive, semi-intensive and intensive. So extensive, as all of you can understand with the word, requires extensive land, requires extensive grazing area, then only you can practice this type of system. For semi-intensive, few months of grazing and other few months you can give your own ration to the required animal. Intensive, totally confined, as in commercial farms. So they can ask question like this: commercial farm utilizes which system of livestock production? So for commercial farm, it will be intensive. Now coming to the breed, what are all the different breeds and what are their important peculiar features? So as you know, every year they ask one question from breeds. So the first is your what type of breeds? These are your dairy breeds. The yellow box, what you are seeing here is your dairy breed. So I have written down the most important feature of these breeds and you must remember these features. And you must also remember their place of origin. Say for example, red Sahiwal, red Sindhi and Sahiwal do not have place of origin in India. They are outside India. So a question can be framed that which of the following breed does not belong to India by origin. तो उस टाइम पे आपको ध्यान होना चाहिए कि कौन कौन से ब्रीड इंडिया के ओरिजिन के नहीं है. तो लाइक दैट दे कैन आस्क क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम यू. So if we talk about red Sindhi, I have written here that intercalving period is 425 to 540 days. Why I have written for only red Sindhi and I have not written for other breeds? What is the reason? Anybody will answer? It is the least, not the highest. इंटरकाविंग पीरियड जब भी लीस्ट होगा तो वो हमारे लिए अच्छा है ना. इंटरकाविंग पीरियड हाईएस्ट होगा तो दैट इज नॉट गुड फॉर अस, दैट विल नॉट सर्व द पर्पस फॉर अस. So I have written because red Sindhi has the least, that is 425 days of intercalving period, right? Since similarly for Sahiwal I have written the first calving. The first calving age जो है Sahiwal में सबसे कम है. The least age is for Sahiwal, that is 37 months. You must remember. One more point, that is it is best indigenous breed, right? It is best indigenous breed. ये सबसे ज्यादा इसका लैक्टेशन है. The highest in our indigenous breed में अगर हम कंपेयर करेंगे तो साहिवाल has the highest lactation. ठीक है, 2500 kg per lactation. This way, like this way, you need to remember the extraordinary feature if some breed has. ठीक है, इस तरह से आपको याद रखना है. गिर से पता ही चल रहा है आपको कि गिर का ओरिजिन का गुजरात होगा. And it has half moon shaped, okay, horn. So these are some of the important feature that you must remember. अमृत महल, ये अब जो ग्रीन वाला ग्रीन ब्लूइश बॉक्स है आपके सामने, ये अब कौन सा आ गया? ये आपके सामने आ गया ड्रॉट एनिमल्स. दिस येलो बॉक्स वाज योर व्हाट वाज? इट वाज डेयरी ब्रीड्स. तो रेड सिंधी, साहिवाल एंड ग्रीन आर व्हाट? दीज आर योर डेयरी ब्रीड्स. अब ये जितने हैं यहाँ पे बॉक्स में, ये हैं आपके ड्रॉट ब्रीड्स, दैट इज दे आर यूज्ड फॉर प्लोइंग द फील्ड्स, राइट? तो अमृत महल के लिए क्या स्पेशल फीचर है? महाराजाज ऑफ मैसूर ने इसे डेवलप किया है. इसके शार्प ब्लैक पॉइंट्स होते हैं. हॉर्न्स आर लॉन्ग एंड एंड इज शार्प ब्लैक पॉइंट्स. तो दे गिव क्वेश्चन लाइक दिस, दे विल गिव सम फीचर्स एंड आस्क यू टू आइडेंटिफाई द ब्रीड्स. ठीक है, तो वट एवर इंपॉर्टेंट आइडेंटिफिकेशन कैन बी, आई हैव जॉटेड डाउन ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. इसको देख लीजिएगा, तो और कुछ देखने की जरूरत नहीं है आपको. बर्गर की अगर हम बात करें तो बर्गर जो है ये तमिलनाडु का ब्रीड है एंड इट इज हाईली सुटेबल फॉर योर अनइवन हिली टेरेन्स. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, इट इज हाईली सुटेबल फॉर योर अनइवन हिली टेरेन्स. ठीक है, इट इज नोन फॉर योर स्पीड एंड एंड्योरेंस. सी इफ यू सी हलिकर ऑल्सो, हलिकर में भी क्या है? ट्रॉटिंग एबिलिटी है और बर्गर में भी ट्रॉटिंग एबिलिटी है, बट यहाँ पे स्पीड एंड एंड्योरेंस है, यहाँ पे ड्रॉट कैपेसिटी एंड ट्रॉटिंग एबिलिटी है. तो इस तरह के कुछ कुछ कीवर्ड्स है जो आप याद रखिएगा और वहां पे कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है एग्जामिनेशन हॉल. खिलाड़ी की बात करते हैं तो लॉन्ग हॉर्न्स, लॉन्ग टर्निंग हॉर्न इज द फीचर ऑफ दिस खिलाड़ी. कंगियम की बात करें तो ब्लैक रिंग्स, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, दिस ब्रीड हैज ब्लैक रिंग्स. ठीक है, द आईज आर डार्क एंड प्रोमिनेंट विद ब्लैक रिंग, दिस इज द इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर फॉर दिस. अम्बला चेरी की बात करें, वेट प्लोइंग के लिए सबसे ज्यादा यूजफुल है. अगर यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा ट्विस्ट करके पूछा जाए, which of the following breed is most useful for plowing in the paddy fields, तो अम्बला चेरी वहां पे सबसे सुटेबल होगा बिकॉज इट इज मोस्ट सुटेबल फॉर योर वेट फील्ड्स. ठीक है, पुलिकलम की अगर बात करें तो जलीकट्टू जो स्पोर्ट्स आपने सुना होगा जो कि बैन कर दिया गया है, इस पुलिकलम जो ब्रीड है इसको यूज किया जाता था जलीकट्टू में. ठीक है, दिस इज ऑल्सो ए ब्रीड फ्रॉम योर तमिलनाडु. Another important feature of this is typical backward curving horns. ठीक है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर्स हो गए आपके ड्रॉट एनिमल्स के. नाउ कमिंग टू दिस इज डुअल. डुअल में कौन कौन से आ गए आपको वो भी याद होना चाहिए कि वहां पे कंफ्यूज नहीं हो रहा. व्हाट आर ऑल द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ डुअल ब्रीड? कौन प्योर डेयरी ब्रीड है, यू मस्ट रिमेंबर ऑल द ब्रीड्स, कुछ कोड बना लीजिए और याद रखने की कोशिश कीजिए। थरपकड़ की बात करें, आर शेप्ड हॉर्न्स, ठीक है। हाईएस्ट मिल्क अमॉन्ग डुअल ब्रीड्स, जितने यहाँ पे डुअल ब्रीड्स के यहाँ पे एग्जांपल है, इनमें से थरपकड़ का जो सबसे ज्यादा हाईएस्ट, ठीक है, एल्ज है मिल्क के टर्म्स में। तो दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर। दे विल गिव द ऑप्शंस एंड आस्क यू, or they may directly ask you which of the following dual breeds of cattle has the highest milking capability. तो थरपकर will be the right answer. वहां पे साहिवाल आंसर नहीं होगा, बिकॉज साहिवाल इज ए प्योर डेयरी ब्रीड, ठीक है। और थरपकर डुअल में सबसे ज्यादा मिल्किंग एबिलिटी इसके पास है। कंक्रेज सेम, आयर शेप्ड हॉर्न्स। ओंगोल, ओंगोल का इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर है, एक्सपोर्टेड टू साउथ ईस्ट एशियन एंड अमेरिकन कंट्रीज फॉर मीट पर्पस, ये आपको याद रखना है। कृष्णा वैली, ए ब्रीड फ्रॉम कर्नाटका एंड इज सुटेड फॉर वर्किंग इन द ब्लैक सॉइल, ठीक है। कृष्णा वैली को आप याद रखिएगा, ब्लैक सॉइल के लिए सुटेबल है। देवनी की अगर बात करें तो ये भी ब्लैक सॉइल और हेवी कल्टीवेशन के लिए, ठीक है, ये भी फेमस है। देवनी जो ब्रीड है, इसको आपको याद रखना है। ये कहां से, ये महाराष्ट्र से। Now coming to the exotic breeds, exotic breeds भी important है। Till now they have not asked question from this segment, but I expect that this year or any of the coming years they can definitely ask from this section only, because most of the breeds whatever we are using in India, those breeds are from this exotic breeds only. So jersey के लिए important feature what you need to remember is smallest of the dairy types. All the exotic breeds whatever are available, the jersey is the smallest breed. Next, calving at minimum age of 25 months. जितने भी exotic breeds हैं, the calving is minimum for this jersey only. Place of origin also you can remember, it's important. Jersey UK origin है. HF, that is Holstein Friesian, is Netherlands origin. Highest milk per lactation is found in HF. Don't confuse with the jersey. Jersey में कम है 4,500, but Holstein Friesian has the highest milk per lactation 7,000 kg, ठीक है। You compare this data with the Indian breeds, how much difference is there? वहां पे कितना था, 2,500 3,000 ऐसे हो रहा था। Here the lactation is around 7,000 kg, ठीक है। Next is a brown Swiss, a breed from Switzerland, and NDRI Karnal has developed a new crossbreed from this only. The name of that base is Karan Swiss, ये याद रखना है। आयशायर जो है, इसको डनलप कैटल के नाम से भी जाना जाता है, ठीक है। और अगर एग्जॉटिक में पूछा जाए, if they ask which of the following breed has highest fat content, तो Guernsey will be the right answer for that. Guernsey has the highest fat of 5%. Rest of the all exotic breed has 3.5 to 4% of fat, but this Guernsey has around 5% of the fat. चलिए, now coming to the first step, that is selection. Whenever you select a breed, the first thing you need to have that it should have 50% of the native germ plasm. Why? Because it will give a endurance to your breed. Next, 50% of exotic germ plasm. Why? Because this will increase the milking capability of that breed, whatever you select, ठीक है। तो जैसे if we take the example of Australian Friesian Sahiwal, तो 50% जो क्या है, हमारा नेटिव जर्म प्लाज हो गया, किससे आया, वो साहिवाल से आया, एंड 50% इज कमिंग फ्रॉम एक्सोटिक जर्म प्लाज ऑफ फ्रीजन, ठीक है। अनदर क्वेश्चन दैट कैन कम, दैट व्हेनेवर ए फार्मर परचेजेस दिस ब्रीड्स, द परचेज शुड बी डन इन अक्टूबर नवंबर ओनली, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट, कमिंग टू द हाउसिंग. Housing, they can ask many questions, and from this housing, the most important point can be asked is your floor space requirement. You need to remember. See, there are two ways you can remember this floor space requirement. One is as per Nabard model bankable projects jo bhi hai, as per that, and another is a general. If they do not mention in the question that please mention the floor space as per Nabard model project, so in that case you need to select from these data. If they specifically mentions in the question that give the floor space as per Nabard bankable model projects, then you have to give the full floor space as per that only. So if we see in general terms, what is the floor space required? The floor space required is divided into two categories, that is your covered and open areas, ठीक है। The shed can be covered or open, however you are keeping the animals, it depends upon the you. तो बुल्स के लिए देख लीजिए कवर्ड एरिया में 12 है, ठीक, इसका डबल हो जाता है ओपन एरिया, बिकॉज इन ओपन एरिया यू हैव मोर स्पेस, यू हैव मोर फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, तो यू कैन हैव मोर एरिया. सो बुल्स काउस के लिए देख लीजिए 3.5 मीटर स्क्वायर है, इट चेंजेस टू 7. तो ये डेटा आप बिल्कुल याद रखिए, डू नॉट फॉरगेट दिस डेटा, दिस आर इंपॉर्टेंट स्पेसिफिकली फॉर योर काउ buffalo. At least this two you need to remember. बाकी याद रखिए ना रखिए, remember these two 3.5 and 7, 4 and 8. ठीक है, very easy, डबल हो जा रहा है. Coming to the slope, if we talk about the slope, then slope where the animal is standing, the slope should be 1/40. ठीक है, and the slope where you are feeding the animal, okay, there the slope should be 1/60. So these things you need to remember, right? And this type of space, yeah, see, adult cattle in case of and buffaloes, it is 60 to 75 space per animal centimeter. ये लेंथ के टर्म में दिया हुआ है, ठीक है, ये एरिया के टर्म में दिया हुआ है, तो दोनों को आप याद रख सकते हैं, बट मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इज योर दिस स्पेस एरिया. ठीक है, काव, बफलो, डाउन कावर, यंग calves, old calves. Okay, so what is difference between calf and heifer? What is difference between calf and heifer? Six months to first is calving. 6 months to 1 year, till 1 year, right? Yes, female before calving. चलिए, okay. Now coming on to your housing. ठीक है, it has two types of system, row system. ठीक है, single row system and double row system. Only thing you need to remember is how many animals do you accommodate in single row system? It is 12 to 16. How many animals do you accommodate in double row system? It is 17 till 50. So ये number just you need to remember. Now coming to the milking barn. Milking barn is the area where milking is done. ठीक है, तो these are some of the dimension given, okay, of milking barn. Length कितना होना चाहिए, width कितना होना चाहिए, जहां से क्रॉस कर रहे central passage कितना होना चाहिए. तो exact data need not to remember, just you need to have an idea what is the length 1.5 to 1.7. Just एक rough idea रखिए so that you can, if they ask, because we cannot tell what type of question they will ask. You have seen earlier also, if they can ask the circulation of blood in udder, then they can ask any question from this segment. So we don't know what they will ask, so just you try to have a rough idea from this very part. ठीक है, what is the how many milk barns should be there? So it should be 25% of whatever the number of animals are there, right? तो जितने एनिमल्स है उसके 25% मिल्क बार्न्स को हम तैयार करेंगे ताकि स्टेप बाय स्टेप हम की मिल्किंग कर सकें. नाउ कमिंग टू द calving pen. Calving pen means the area where the cow gives birth to a new calf. ठीक है, so for this you just need to remember this area, this calving pen. This area should be 3 into 4, that is 12 meters square, right? The number of calving pens, how many calving pens should a dairy farm have? It should be 5 to 10% of the number of total breedable female stock in the farm. Somewhere you will find 5% it is written, somewhere it is written 10%. So the range is 5 to 10%, whatever the number of breedable female stock you have. ठीक है, then is the number of bulls required for every 50 female cows is 50. ठीक है, for 50 female cows, 1 bull is required in the farm. ये भी आपको याद रखना है. Now coming to the milk room. For 400 to 700 liter production capacity, the milk room should be size of 3.7 into 5. And if you increase the milk capacity for every 40 liter, the area should increase by 0.37 square meter, right? If milking capacity now is 700 liter, then if it is increased to 740 liters, say, then you must increase the area of milk room by 0.37 meter square. For 100 liter of milking capacity, the area is 3.75. First term is almost same, 3.7, 3.7. It is 5 meter here, it is 3 meter here. Quarantine shed, quarantine तो भी famous है, अब animal को भी quarantine किया जा रहा है. ठीक है, हमें तो कर ही रहे कोविड के चलते. So quarantine shed, a animal should be kept. If a new animal you have brought from outside, then you should keep quarantine in quarantine shed to that animal around 30 to 40 days. I am trying to give all those datas, whatever can be asked in the examination. If you see this video 1 or 2 times, you can easily remember all these points till at least examination. Lamba nahi, at least 24, you can remember all these points. ठीक है. Then coming to the straw shed, जहाँ पे कि आप straw रखेंगे. The straw is a feed or fodder for the cow. ठीक है. An adult animal consumes about 5 to 10 kg of hay or straw per day. Just a general idea, you need to remember what type of shed should be. It should have Gothic arc. Many types of arc are there, but for straw keeping, that shape, the shape of that should be Gothic arc. Now, important point, that is colostrum feeding. Whenever a cow gives birth to a calf, then for first 3 days, the first red letter, that is first 3 days, the calf should be fed on the colostrum, that is 2 to 2.5 liter per day. Another important term what you need to remember, that immunoglobulin maximum that runs in the blood of the calf is 28.18 milligram per milliliter. They can ask this question. It is important. See, the concentration of immunoglobulin increases from 0.97 when the calf is born to 28.18 milligram per liter. Colostrum, all of you know that it is very rich in protein, vitamin A, minerals, vitamins, all these things. And one more point you need to remember, that this colostrum should be fed within a temperature of 99 degree Fahrenheit to 102 degree Fahrenheit for better digestibility. ये कुछ points है related to your colostrum. Now coming to the feeding schedule. Feeding schedule में आपको quantities याद नहीं रखनी है. You need not need to remember all these quantities. Only just see the pattern, how this feeding schedule is behaving, and all the important points, whatever you need, we need to take down this from schedule. I have written down in the blue box. You can go through this blue box and understand. For example, if you go through this schedule, you will see that here the quantity of milk in kg for the calf is 000 from here. So after 12 weeks, this is reduced to 0. ठीक है, ये आपको पैटर्न देखना है इस तरीके से. After a calf attains the age of 2 weeks, the amount of whole milk given to it may be cut down. After 2 weeks, इसको cut down कर देना है. The limit of liquid milk feeding is 10% of its body weight. calf का जितना body weight होगा, उसका 10% हम उनको liquid milk देंगे. At the age of 7 to 15 days, the feeding of grain mixture may be started. So they can ask this type of question. After how many days the grain mixture feeding should be started? So like that, you need to remember. Calf starter क्या होता है? What is this calf starter? Calf starter is a mixture of your ground farm grains, proteins, feeds, all these things. Now feeding schedule, that was till 6 months, because 6 months of feeding is very important for any infant also, in human cases also. Who is this? Okay, so for feeding schedule, that was till 6 months of age, right? Now this feeding schedule is from 6 months to above 20 months. So this also you need to remember. Just see the trend. You do not need to remember all this data. It's not important. Just trend up देखिए कि how this feeding schedule is changing. Just pause the video and observe for some time. ठीक है. Now feeding schedule, that was as per the time span, means how many months the calf is. Now the feeding schedule is given as per the milk production. If the cow is producing 6 to 7 liters of milk per day, ठीक है, how much green fodder, dry fodder and concentrate should be given. What is difference between this concentrate and dry fodder and green fodder? What is basic difference? Will anybody answer? What is difference between concentrate and green fodder? What is the basic difference? See, the concentrate, as the name indicates, concentrate is rich in protein and energy. The concentrate is very rich in protein and energy, but green fodder and dry fodder does not have that amount of energy and proteins. Okay. Crude fiber is very less in concentrate, but crude fiber is more in your green fodder and dry fodder. That you need to remember. Okay, so whatever the important points are there from this box, I have written in the blue box. You can pause this video and you can go through this. Okay, just you need to remember the trend and just have a rough idea that how much concentrate, how much dry fodder and how much green fodder you must give during the lactation days and during the dry days. See, as per general trend we have discussed, and as per Nabard model project, I have also given what should be the feeding schedule, right? So as per Nabard model projects, the concentrate feed quantity, just price को आपको ध्यान में नहीं रखना है, just you see the quantity for the lactating days and for the dry days, 223, and here what it is, here the quantity is 115.4. Just remember this one only, 223, 115.4. This is important. This you can remember. Concentrate feed 2, green fodder 20, dry fodder 3 kg. So this data you can remember very easy. This two data only needs to be remember. As per Nabard project, lactation days for cow is 270, and for dry days, what is the length? 120 days. Another important feature that you need to remember, as from this project only, the average productivity has been given. Okay? Average productivity for crossbred, indigenous cows and buffalo, it is given in the project. You can remember this data 7, 2 and 4 kgs. For Murrah, that was for cow. Okay? This space is now for Murrah. Floor space is your 50 square feet. For adult animal, for calf it is 20 square feet. For in case of cow, they didn't have given any space requirement. They have given space requirement for your Murrah only. Lactation day for your Murrah is 270 to 150. Murrah is your buffalo breed. For cow, how much it is? 270 and 120. Okay? So lactation days is same for both cow and buffalo as per Nabard project, but dry days 120 for cow and 150 for your buffalo. In general terms, what is the lactation days? 305. Now coming to the milking. Okay? How do you need to do milk? 3-4 points just you need to remember, that milk machines draw 1.5 to 2 liters of milk per minute, and the pressure difference, this is very important, that milking machines have pressure of 352 mm for cattle like cows and 400 mm for your buffalo. One more important thing that you can remember, that bacterial count in milk should be less than 50,000 per ml. This is standard given in the chicken. Now coming to the next, dehorning. They have asked many questions from the dehorning. You know why dehorning is done, and the figure, from figure it is also clear that why this dehorning is done. So you need to remember this day, that is 7 to 10 days. Okay? This is the dehorning should be done within 7 to 10 days. What is dehorning paste? Dehorning paste is a mixture of calcium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. Next is your disbudding. Okay? Disbudding में क्या होता है? That initially those cells are removed. Instead of removing the horns, they remove the cells that give rise to those horns. Next is a deworming. Deworming is done 30 days interval. Milking is done, should be thrice. The best milking is a thrice. This is very important because all of we know that milking should be done twice a day, that is morning and evening. But that is not the ideal case. The ideal case for milking is your thrice a day. That gives the maximum yield. So this is very important. You need to remember that milking should be done thrice a day, right? Then what should be the extra concentrate that you need to feed when the cow is pregnant, or when it is milking? How much you need to feed? This red letters, whatever I have done here, just try to remember this data. Just observe for 1 to 2 times, you can easily remember. Normal working time. What is the normal working time for bullocks? you also see this 6 hours of carting or 4 hour plowing. If they give it in the examination, you will confuse. So just observe these points very carefully. Now coming on to disease part, see, only you need to remember disease and their causing agents. See, foot and mouth is very important. This is caused due to virus. Maximum of them are caused due to bacteria. Just you need to remember the classification, what is caused by virus and what is caused by bacteria. Now this is important, very important. Economic character. What is lactation yield? What is lactation period? What is service period? What is dry period? You need to remember, and the number whatever I have highlighted with the red color. Lactation period is 305 days. ठीक है, as per Nabard it was 270. Compare करके याद करना. Persistence of milk yield 2 to 4 week. It is called peak yield. Age at first calving 3 year, 2 year and 3.5 year in crossbred and buffalo. Very important, age of calving. ठीक है. Service period 60 to 90 days. Dry period 2 to 2.5 months. So these all datas are important. You must go through these datas. ये था जो भी important चीजें दी गई थी. All I have discussed. They will not ask question. ठीक है, इससे बाहर they will not ask. I have discussed all the important points. Since time is less, I will try to wrap up. The next is your, ठीक है, it is 20th livestock census. I do not want to discuss all those statistics in this livestock census because I think that till now all of you know what are all the important, okay, data or numbers from this census. What do you need to know? That analytical approach of understanding this census, that eastward shift of cattle. If you see, the population in the East India has grown. Decline in the indigenous cattle, increase in exotic and crossbreeds, decline in bull population, backyard poultry has increased a lot, and goat population has also increased a lot in India. These are some of the important statistics from animal husbandry. Milk processing capacity. Okay, this has to be increased from 53.5 million tons to 108 million tons by 2025. Artificial insemination has to be increased from 30% to your 70% as per budget 2021. Very important. AI को कहां से कहां ले जाना है? 30% से 70% तक ले जाना है. प्रोडक्शन कितना हमारे मिल्क का? 187 मिलियन टन. पर कैपिटा एबिलिटी 394 ग्राम्स पर डे. हाईएस्ट मीट प्रोड्यूसिंग यूपी, हाईएस्ट एग प्रोड्यूसिंग आंध्र प्रदेश. चिकन हाईएस्ट कौन सा स्टेट प्रोड्यूस करता है? हरियाणा. ठीक है, उसी तरह से फिश आंध्र प्रदेश इनलैंड के लिए एंड मरीन के लिए गुजरात. एग प्रोडक्शन, ठीक है, हमें याद रखना 83 एज पर नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन. ठीक है, जो यूनिवर्सिटी है आपके हैदराबाद में उसके थ्रू 183 होना चाहिए. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज फिशरी. फिशरी की अगर हम बात करें, दी एक्सपोर्ट नीड्स टू बी increased from 1 lakh crore by 2024-25. Now these are some of the important data what I discussed earlier. Egg production Andhra Pradesh, meat production UP, and your chicken production, that is poultry meat, highest is in your Haryana. See the share of different types of meats. See 36% जो है ये पोल्ट्री का है. सबसे ज्यादा शेयर जो है पोल्ट्री का सबसे ज्यादा है, that is your 36%. You need to remember this. Now coming to AHIDF, a very important scheme. I think they will definitely give question this year from this scheme, that is AHIDF. AHIDF से जरूर वो क्वेश्चन देंगे इस साल. I think you try to cover this very okay in a crisp and important way. Budget for this is your 15,000 crore rupees. ठीक है. Capacity कितना है? India is producing milk of 188 million tons as per this. The main important point what you need to remember, that's DIDF. The earlier scheme was Dairy Processing Infrastructure Development Fund. ठीक है, DIDF was for your cooperatives, but this AHIDF is for your private sector players. इसको याद रखिएगा, ये basic difference है. I have given this question in the test. Many have done error. DIDF किसके लिए था? Cooperatives के लिए था, but ये जो scheme आया AHIDF, ये आया है private sectors के लिए. कौन से प्राइवेट सेक्टर? FPOs, MSMEs, any private entrepreneur, all can take money from this scheme. ठीक है. Repayment has to be done in maximum of your 8 years. 6 plus 2, 8 years. Interest subvention given under this scheme is your 3%. ठीक है. एक credit guarantee fund. Maximum of you have done mistake in this question also. That credit guarantee fund जो है ये 750 crores का है, and this is managed by your Nabard. all of you have done mistake in this question in the test also. ठीक है, उद्यमी मित्र है, इसको संभाल रही है सेट बी, ठीक है, इसको नाबार्ड नहीं संभाल रहा है. You have done mistake in this only. You have taken set B as the right answer, but क्रेडिट गारंटी फंड के लिए राइट आंसर नबार्ड है और उद्यमी मित्रा के लिए सेट बी है. तो these were all the important points related to your animal husbandry. करंट भी ले लिया, स्टैटिक भी ले लिया. हाफ एन आवर के इस वीडियो में आई हैव डिस्कस ईच एंड एवरी पॉइंट फ्रॉम दिस सेक्शन. आई डोंट थिंक एनी क्वेश्चन विल कम आउटसाइड दिस. So try to revise this video again and again 2-3 times. You will get maximum questions from this video only. ठीक है, चलो, I think the time has also elapsed. Please like the video, share the video if I upload in the YouTube. Okay, chalo, thank you, good night, goodbye everyone.